Hey dudes and dudettes, for today's Nostalgia Fix, we have a fun mall to visit with a surprise. Actually, two surprises depending on your perspective, in the mall's basement and back hallways. Now, let's not have expectations go out of whack here. I'm not talking about a portal in the basement that leads to an ancient civilization. It's just a pleasant surprise for people who haven't been to this mall at Buena Park yet. And as for the other surprise, it's perhaps something a casual observer to the mall would have missed. Anyways, that's enough vagueness. If you've been to this mall in Southern California, you'll already know that almost the entire basement is filled with an arcade-style pizzaplex. It's a similar vibe to Five Nights at Freddy's, particularly the video game Security Breach, with all the neon lighting and bright colors. It's a lot of fun to look at, and you'll see shots of it here and there throughout this video. It was a pleasant surprise to us as a family to come across this find, and while technically there's an entrance to this place called John's Incredible Pizza from the outside, if you enter the mall at any other side, you completely miss it. Oh, and just like Five Nights at Freddy's, John's Incredible Pizza has a bear mascot. Although, Incredibear looks a lot less like he's going to attack you when your back is turned. But it's a fun tie-in. We would have loved to go in and play some games as a family, but unfortunately, we were just killing an hour before heading over to Knott's Berry Farm just down the street, while on a vacation a while ago. But even so, if you excluded the pizzeria, this mall would still be worth visiting. There are a ton of abstract shapes and designs, and for a mall that mainly feels like it's one story, it doesn't hurt to have a lot of angles and designs breaking up the common long hallway effect you get in a lot of shopping malls. It's nice to see these elements too, because this mall started out in the 1960s as an open-air mall that looked kind of plain. Then later on they enclosed the location and gave it air conditioning. Having said that, I know there's a crowd of people that prefers the old memories of the open-air design, along with the caramel popcorn smell and orange Julius they had back then. Later on, there used to be a Circuit City attached to this mall, as well as an Aladdin's Castle arcade. It's nice to see that through all the changes and all the years, that this mall is still going. I know it looks kind of like a dead mall here, but to be fair, we were there early in the morning. On the other hand, as you'll see later in the video, there's a dead portion of this mall that has liminal space bliss, if you're into that kind of thing. I think it's eerie and kind of fun. I also hear that in general, the mall's foot traffic is diminishing year after year, so it could be a dead mall soon, sadly. But you never know, some of these malls make a strong comeback, especially with economic swings in society. Some people still like to get out of their houses and not order everything online. I'm one of those people. So I'll be quiet for a little bit and let you enjoy the tour, and I'll come back at the end of the video to explain a little bit about this mall's other surprise, which I already kind of hinted at. Again, keep expectations in check. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the music. This is the part I wanted to discuss. As you go down off to the side of John's Incredible Pizza, there's this hallway back here that ends with an awesome 80s mall liminal space, both downstairs and upstairs. They mainly had it sealed off, and it just has such a cool retro vibe. You can even see the downstairs portion of the old Sears back there behind the escalators. It's nice when they leave up the old anchor store signs because it brings back so many memories of walking through places like that during the holidays or just to drop in to look at the toy section or whatever. This part is directly above that area and has an awesome 80s looking skylight entrance and can lights. I can almost smell the faint ashtray aroma of those trash can looking trays that had the hard gray pebbles surrounding them. Here's a picture for reference. It seemed like all early 80s malls had these things at every entrance. But yeah, it's nice to see little surprises like this in malls, especially since so many of them have been remodeled several times over. Sure, it may look nice and new, but as a nostalgia lover, well, of course I'm a sucker for retro spaces like these. But that's about it, folks. Hope you enjoyed the tour, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, Gators.
That was some seriously good nostalgia. But remember, friends, it's also important to make new memories with your loved ones.